So we are back again, uh, here for session 7. Who would like to recap what happened in session 6? Don't all jump in at once. We need to hear you speak.
It's
Remember
funny
somebody?
because Lisa before I got on, Lisa asked me to fill her in on what happened. All I can remember is we played some more carnival games. Uh Paelius wanted to rip into this tent rather than go in the front, and I don't really know why, and I don't really know why we all just went along with it. And then we got into an aggressive funhouse. That's
Paelius is
what I
just
told her.
conserving all of his ticket punches just in case. Paelius refuses to pay full price for anything.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a series of random events where first uh Lee was like headed north and ran into the Calliope and the monkey who was collecting buttons and a goblin dressed up like a ladybug. Then Lee went to the swan rides, the swan gondolas, and discovered that the swan boat he got into, she really just wanted to talk about some sort of philosophy. And was first, I think she asked him something about like just the nature of existence, and then she moved on to the nature of time. Uh, Luckily for her, Elzin joined, carrying Mbop. Uh, Lee got frustrated immediately with the conversation being sort of pointless. Lee was there, I think, to spring her from her captivity as a slave. That's that's
Yes, little
not
did I know that she was there having a grand old time.
right.
willingly. Yeah.
Doesn't
Lee
even understand her oppression at this point, but that's okay.
Lee heard her trying to be philosophical and was basically like, you know what? I'm glad you're a slave, and flew off. Lee then flew down to the staff area where he ran into a hobgoblin who sort of chased him off. And he at least discovered that the staff area is surrounded by a magical briar. So it parted for the bugbear. What was the other thing? Oh, of course, Pebble played the Almirage ring toss game but lost, and then later played the Cyclops staring contest game and won a ticket for a free temporary tattoo.
He's
Meanwhile,
he's definitely getting a neck tattoo of some sort.
Paelius looked on, suspicious of the games, and
He's seen these
discovered
things before.
discovered that the Cyclops is just an illusion of a Cyclops. But still, somehow, Pebble outstared the illusion of the Cyclops. Then that's when you decided to go down to the House of Illusions, which is where the hags disappeared previously. And I'm sure Paelius wanted to cut into the back in part because he's expecting to find hags inside. So he didn't want to go in the front door where they might know he's there. So he
Yeah, it's obvious
cut
when you
his,
go in the front.
right. So he cut his way through the back of the tent. Meanwhile, the clown who, works as the attendant for the thing came around and tried to dissuade you, but apparently he is mute and so couldn't say anything and was just sort of pantomiming his concern about you going in at all, which is weird for the guy who's supposed to be the attendant for the ride to not want you to use it. Uh, but you cut your way through the tent and went inside and found a mirror maze that takes up the interior of this tent. Uh, the clown then sealed up, used mending to seal up the tent behind you guys. So you entered the mirror maze and started seeing first you saw very young versions of yourselves reflected in the mirrors. The versions of the self of yourselves in the mirror started to age up as you moved through the maze, the longer you were in there. And then people started seeing the servants of the hags appearing in the reflections. So, including Sal Pig, the little pig-faced, gray-skinned girl, and a shadow that eventually emerged from one of the mirrors and attacked. I think hitting Pyelius at some point and draining some of Pyelius' strength. But you attacked it back and got it close to death when it fled back into the mirror on its turn. And then Pebble was trying to communicate with Salpig, but she wasn't responding. She was more or less just focused on Pyelius. So Pyelius took a pair of wings back, and
but
we will
refuses
see.
to wear them.
We will see if that changes their attention on Pyelius. But I will say he did correctly guess that it's not wearing the wings that made him a target in the first place. So you are in the mirror maze. You didn't really go in with a strategy for like how to navigate it, other than to hold hands so that you didn't get separated, which is a potential problem. That's true. You did originally try tying yourselves together with rope, and it turned out the magic of the maze still managed to confuse you. So at this point, you are somewhere in the mirror maze. You couldn't really tell how to get out if you wanted to. You essentially can go forward or back, but it twists around, forcing you to follow the lines of mirrors.
Is it still showing us as older or younger versions?
So it started out with you as younger versions, and it's been getting progressively older. When the shadow attacked, you were basically at roughly the age you are now, but you do see signs of Elzen getting a little bit older than his current version. I mean, Lee, I don't know how Arakakra look older, but Lee is going to be dead before any of you since his species only lives to like 14. But it appears to be like relative aging in the mirrors, not absolute aging. So Lee and all of you look a little bit older. Elzen, however, you can see like a touch of gray in his hair.
I
Same
I,
for
I
Pebble.
wonder.
I have no idea what does an elderly penguin look like.
Um,
His
Great
feathers falling
question.
out.
Uh, s- hmm.
I mean,
Yes,
Google. Surely we can
the
Google this.
the feathers around the crown of the head begin falling off, specifically in that area.
A bald penguin can't be good. So you are in the maze. You're not sure whether or not it is more fruitful to press forward or go back.
Is Pebble still seeing Pig?
Yes. She is more hidden, as if, you're trying to talk to her. She didn't respond to you, but maybe alerted her to the fact that you're seeing her. So she is now sort of peering over the edge of a mirror so that you can only see like a single eye, but she seems focused on Pyelius.
Pebble is going to move out of sight of that mirror and slowly sidle up. And then eventually, when he gets to the corner of that specific mirror, he's just going to go, I got you! I got you!
Yeah, you see she has cracked and broken teeth that essentially form into very sharp points. But it's almost as if she just looks through you, staring at Pyelius.
I don't care why she's not reacting to me. I mean, who wouldn't want to play a game of peekaboo? Well,
Who is she staring at?
Pebble kind of looks down and walks back to the group slowly with a more accentuated lumber set slash waddle.
The Charlie Brown
Actually, no,
music.
what he does is he goes on his belly and then slowly just slides towards the group.
But like just one push.
Yeah. Yeah. And just a really sad, slow stop. And then
When
he
you
gets
finally
back
stop,
up.
your head just sort of slumps.
Yeah.
So Lee was in the front of the group, essentially leading you around, and has his ever-burning torch that he took with him. So Lee, go ahead and make me a survival check as you navigate your way around. Is there something you're looking for in particular? Because at this point, you feel like you're lost. You wouldn't necessarily know how to backtrack exactly.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think we're just looking for signs of something.
So, Peter, roll me a D12. So walking around, you see in the mirror, there seem to be two people in one of the reflections. Both of them seem to be multicolored. They're probably supposed to be human, but they're essentially like art pieces. They appear to be juggling uh, torches between them in the mirror. But you see one of them drops a torch as it turns its face to look over at you and begins to walk up towards the mirror and then steps through it, cracking the mirror behind him.
Okay.
Do we see this?
Yes, it
I
has
would
it
assume
has
so.
emerged from the mirror.
Pebble will run over and say, "Wow, that was so cool that you were throwing all that fire. How'd you do that? How'd you come through the mirror? Can you teach us how to come through the mirror? We would really like to know that because we keep getting stuck in brown mirrors and the ropes keep getting stuck, and I don't know what's going on with that. But hey, what's going on with you? You're coming over by us, so I guess we maybe are you a friend? Do you want to be a friend?"
It's not speaking to you, but it doesn't look like it wants to be a friend.
Is it looking at somebody specifically?
No, it doesn't seem to be focused only on any one person.
Pebble will like poke the guy just to make sure that he's
Pe-
real and didn't just
Pe- Pebble, back up.
Yeah, you poke the guy and so you could see the glass shards on its body begin to stand up on end as it tries to take a swing at you, punching you with its sharp claws. So we can roll initiative.
Good grief.
So you get to go first. First,
uh
Lee and then Pebble.
Um,
Was this the thing?
Yes.
How big is this thing? Not very big, it seems.
No, it is about 4 feet tall. I mean, it's still medium.
I don't know why, but I can see at the corner. There's like I see a couple of tokens. It seems I have control over one of the things.
Which thing?
Up here. Yeah, same.
Um, so he swung at Pebble, right?
Not yet. He's preparing. He's
Wait, so
preparing to
Okay,
is
he
swing.
it
looks
this thing?
So
hostile.
Is it
yes, he
this
looks
thing?
hostile. Yes. So Pebble
Okay, so
probably
then,
needs to move.
yeah, actually, Pebble is probably more right here. Wait, that's
Uh, all right. I'm going to bonus action rage, and then I'm going to hit him with my scimitar. At least, no, I'm not. Okay.
Anything else you're doing?
Uh, no, that's probably it.
Okay. Pebble.
um. So did it actually make an attack, or did it just look like
It
it was
it
about
is
to?
it is about to make an attack, but then we rolled initiative. It
Okay,
didn't get a free attack.
okay. Um. So Pebble's gonna go. That's a very nice. That was nice, you. Yeah.
Not a friend.
That hits. Let's see. So you hit it, your piercing damage doesn't do as much damage as you would have expected, though.
Okay. And then bonus action unarmed strike.
And that also hits. And that does more damage than you might have expected. But
Ha ha!
but as you punch it, you see cracks begin to form in its surface. And oh, there's no button for this. Weird creature. They didn't set this up. So as you punch it, you begin to shatter it, doing more damage than you imagined, but you take 10 piercing damage.
Um. So Pebble is gonna go, and then he's gonna run back and like try to pick the glass out of him, out of his hand, and wherever else it might have landed.
So as you back up, it does not take an opportunity attack,
Okay.
but it does look like it's heavily damaged at this point. Nonetheless, it's going to step up and attack. The 17 hit Lee.
Let's see here. Yep.
So you take 9 slashing damage as it punches at you with these glass shards extended out from its body.
Yeah.
But that's its turn. Pyelius.
Um, well, I can see it at least, right?
Yes. Oh, I forgot to add to the summary because it goes without saying, but Pebble and Pyelius are best friends.
Um, yeah, I guess I'll just short bow it here.
That hits.
Nice. Some sneak attack in there, I believe.
Does that include your sneak attack?
Yeah,
Oh, the
yeah, it
three
adds it
is your
up at the
sneak attack.
bottom. Yeah, yeah.
I see. So once again, piercing damage doesn't seem to be quite as effective against it.
I understand. That's all I got.
No, I get it.
And then I will back up a tad, I guess. And cunning action hide around
Okay.
the corner.
So I guess roll me your stealth check.
Jesus.
I forget what his. I mean, he's not going to react to you anyway, so you're not sure
That's fine.
if you have lost him or he's lost you or not.
Just
So
aiming for an
as
advantage.
right as you hide, Pebble at least would notice that the long gray hand of Salpig reaches out and grabs Elzin by the arm and drags him into the mirror, explaining why he's not here. He drops Mbop, however, to the ground. She stirs slightly, briefly waking up, but still for the moment drowsy and asleep. She rolls over and tries to go back to sleep. And it's Lee's turn.
Um, Scimitar attack. 8 slashing, 2 psychic. Probably doesn't do as much. Is it slash?
The slashing it's resistant to. The psychic it's not.
All right. Bonus action. That's a miss.
Yep.
All right.
You're not sure if the psychic had any effect on it. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
It's clearly a construct of some sort.
Right.
So it may not have a typical mind to affect. Pebble, it's your turn. You can see Elson is just being dragged down the hall by Salpig, but he's, inside the mirror at this point. Whereas the golem is still there and attacking. You're muted.
Sorry. Pebble's super concerned about Elsie. Uh, so he's gonna try and run into the mirror.
Okay. Uh, so give me an athletics check to see how much steam you build up running into the mirror. Are you getting like a running start or you're just starting from where you are?
I'm from where I am, I'm gonna run right in because I mean Elsie passed through. Certainly Pebble can too. Hey,
So,
stop,
so
that. Stop.
I I am going to impose disadvantage, but in this case, that's a good thing. As I want to see how hard did you run into this glass mirror. Uh, so that is enough to crack and break this mirror that is like 20 feet tall above you. Uh, and so from where Elzen was, you're going to bring down one of the panels of mirror, and there's going to be splash damage that's going to hit Mbop and Lee.
Stop.
So all three of you take 8 damage as the glass comes tumbling down.
Is that piercing or
Yes.
okay? Take half.
And behind it, you see there is essentially just a sheet of what looks like rock that the mirror was affixed to.
You just hear from the shadows, I'm not paying for that.
Um, I'm going to. Hmm, I'm gonna use an
Oh,
action point to restore to spend some hit dice.
okay. And obviously, Lee, your rage halves that damage.
Yeah.
Question. So with the durable feat, when I roll hit die, regain hit points, I add my proficiency bonus. And with my uh lucky ice stone, whenever I roll hit die to regain hit points, I double the number of hit points it restores. Would that apply when I use an action point to roll hit dice?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll only spend one hit dice then. So, and that'll be my turn.
So the golem is going to strike out at Lee again. That's its turn. Pyelius.
Um,
There she is.
I will stay low and peek out to get a better look at this thing again. See the chaos that having a penguin in the party wreaks, and then shoot at the thing again. Uh, Yikes!
That's a miss.
I didn't have advantage, and even if I did, it didn't matter.
You didn't have advantage. It
Okay,
didn't lose track of you.
all right. I move again. Um, I guess I'll peer briefly into the mirror to make sure nothing is going to come out at me.
So make me a perception check.
Sure. Um, Fuck it. Got it.
You look into the mirror, but you don't see anything.
Alrighty. It's too dark here, so like there's nothing for my dark vision to reflect off of.
Oh, that's true. So with your dark vision, you don't actually see the reflections in the mirror. They just look like blank surfaces.
Yeah. I didn't know what could be reflected off of the torch and the mirrors that are present, so that might be enough to
Yeah, that's fair. There's
grant dim
probably be
light, which is then normal
right
light for
there.
me, but
There probably would be dim light there when you reflect it off of like this mirror behind you.
okay.
So you don't see anything in the mirror though.
Okay. I'll just peek, go back around the corner here and hide.
So Lee, you can go.
Just roll that there.
Okay. All right, let me try to hit this thing again. 95 slashing, 2 psychic. We take some damage.
So this creature, whatever it is, it seems to be incredibly resistant to slashing and piercing damage. Uh, but The bludgeoning damage did a huge amount of damage to it. It's just that it exploded in glass shards when that happened.
All
And
right.
it's Pebble's turn.
I'll do my bonus action though. 14. What I miss?
Nope, that is a hit.
Okay. So 2 psychic, 3 bludgeoning.
And as you hit it with the shield, hold on. As you hit it with the shield, it once again shatters more than you would have expected from the otherwise sort of glancing 3 hit point damage blow. But it winds up spraying shards of glass back at you. 7 piercing damage. Sorry, slashing damage, I think.
Getting down there.
And it's then going to take another swing. That's 5 damage you would take from that. And it's
Okay.
Pyelius' turn. Was Pyelius hiding again?
Yeah, I
Did
rolled
you
the stealth
roll?
up there. Yeah,
What was it?
Wait, doesn't Pebble
25.
go?
Oh yeah, you're right. Pebble is next.
Yeah,
What was the
Uh,
stealth though?
25.
Okay.
Unless I had disadvantage for some reason.
I'll just take
No.
him.
So you as a player can be pretty sure you're hidden this time. If it had a passive perception of 25, that would be amazing.
All right. So Pebble is gonna open his mouth and release a ray of frost. Come on, Volvo.
So that's a hit. And it doesn't seem to be resistant to cold damage, I don't think. Let me check. Nope. And you can see there are many cracks running through its form now. It seems like it will only take a little bit more to completely shatter it. Whether or not that will cause like a spray of glass, you don't know. Now it's Pyelius' turn. Pyelius would be way back though, so even if it explodes,
I'll be okay. That's
yeah,
the important part.
Pyelius will be fine.
Um, let's take another shot. Wish I had. I'm realizing now there's something I'm gonna want. Oh my God. Fucking really?
So you step out,
I'm just like,
you're so confident that you're hidden that you don't even bother aiming.
Uh, I go to, I'm like, you guys are in the way. Back up again. I like to imagine I don't even fire. Like, okay,
There you go.
it's back up.
Sorry, pal. We don't want to be in your way of your shots. I'll try to do better next time.
My God, it's fucking.
Totally.
Let's see. How does this thing look?
Like I said, it looks like it's on the verge of shattering completely. Though maybe it could take a hit. You know, it's hard to tell whether you could down it in one shot or not. But you would also be reasonably concerned that if you shatter it, that it will like spray out more shards of glass.
Yeah. I can't use, can I use, well, if I use an action point to use my hit dice, that's my action, right?
Nope, there is no action associated with using an action point.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to use my action point because I gotta use my hit dice. So just roll hit die then.
You can, yeah, I think it's up to half your hit dice you can roll.
Okay, I can only use one. So I only got two, so I can roll one.
Is that right?
Nice. Okay, that's good. Okay, and then I will attack it with my scimitar, and that's a big fat miss.
Yep.
And hit it with my shield again.
And that's a hit. Once again, it explodes. It's sending shards at you. Uh, So just 2 damage to you. And it's Pebble's turn.
Okay, Pally. I'm gonna make sure I move out of the way. Here. So so
Oh, and he shoots another ray of frost from his mouth.
And it's hit with this ray of frost, and you watch as all of the glass surfaces on its body, made of mirrors, all frost over and become opaque. And you hear it begin to crack, and it shatters. And Lee takes 5 more damage. Everybody
Oh,
within 5 feet technically would have taken damage,
all right.
but it is now completely
Brian!
gone.
See, Pally? I didn't even have to get out of the way that time. We just did it.
I just like take a look around at all the glass on the ground. Was this you?
What is wrong with me?
I just like gestured to the glass.
Uh, yeah. Oh wait, Elsie! The guy Elsie! The person in the mirror, it took Elsie.
Take a quick look at him, Bob. Make sure like a fucking jugular wasn't punctured by a falling just glass.
So she was hit by some of the falling glass, but she appears to be, still alive. She's just sleeping.
Piley is looking down, like, how are we supposed to get a job done?
I mean, that's
I'm,
the kind of sleep
I,
I want to get, where even when glass rains down on me, cutting me, I don't wake up.
Right. Which I guess which direction were we moving?
You were moving down on the map.
Okay. Um, it's just looking at the mirror here, I guess, just or first, I guess the lack thereof on the wall.
I'm telling you, somebody got Elsie, took his hand, pulled him into the mirror. I just tried to follow. But, but then it smashed in my face. But he got through, so I figured I could do too. I didn't know it'd break. I'm sorry for the mess.
No, I I don't mind the mess. Just let's try not to get anybody else killed here.
You're muted again, Mike.
I was trying. I was trying to help. They took Elsie. I thought I was saving him.
It's got to be around here somewhere.
So are you proceeding? with Lee still in the front.
I'm going where my bestie's going.
Um, who's gonna carry this
Lee is
one?
just shaking all the glass out of his feathers right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be hard. All those like little tiny shards,
Hmm.
splinter like shards.
I was down to 1 hit point.
Do we do we need to take a moment?
Really could use a rest as a long rest, but I don't think we're going to do that here.
Uh, Lily, do you want me to help you get some of those glass out of your feathers? I can help clean you. I got a beak too.
Seems very personal.
Especially with the height difference. So who's going to carry Mbop?
Yeah, that was gonna be my question.
I'll carry Uba.
Pyelius is like, we have no choice. We have to leave her behind because I'm not carrying her.
I sure as shit can't right now.
Oh, that's right. Your strength got hit.
Yeah.
I will do my best. I got
Do
10 strength. I mean,
Yeah. I
we could do a
mean,
rest of a
Elzin,
short variety.
right. Elzin was carrying her.
My strength is currently a 6.
I mean, you are also at the moment like right next to the side of the tent. So apparently, if you take a little time, you can cut your way out.
It's true.
So, Pebble is gonna get on his belly and slide underneath Mbop, and then put put her hands over his shoulders, and then slowly get up, and then just kind of drag her like that.
So yeah, as you rise up from the floor, uh, all of like the glass shards that landed on her go clattering down.
Yep. Does does he wear shoes at all? Our penguin friend here?
You're muted again.
why would I wear shoes?
Well, there's glass all over the floor.
Well, I didn't know there'd be glass here.
You should expect glass. It's any point. You never know.
I
Uh,
don't even know if Elson was wearing shoes.
Yeah.
I'm very good at moving around obstacles. I'll just step around the glass.
Or Lee for that
Here,
matter.
what, what? Did he call going on point?
And then he gets up on his toes, on his talons, like a ballerina.
This is one of the skills that they make us do at the monastery. It's very useful for things like this. But it's a lot harder to do when I'm carrying someone.
I assume that if if the bird like species and halflings go around without shoes, that it's just because their feet are abnormally tough relative to like a human's. So they can suffer stepping in the little tiny glass shards.
But if the if it's wide enough and high enough, I can just take a quick flap of my wings and fly over it.
Right, that's true. It's definitely high enough for you to fly over it if you wanted to.
But the question is, are we cutting our way and trying to get out of here?
Well, we have to. We should try and get Elzen out, but a short break of some kind, at least at the very least, could be helpful.
Why is everybody so quiet?
I made my copy.
Because yeah, somebody has said we should go, where do you want to eat? And nobody wants to actually say where. So, Peter, does Lee want to cut their way out and take a break or just push forward, knowing that
I mean,
Elzen has
we
been
could.
abducted?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
can
I mean,
we?
I
Can we
mean,
short
you know,
rest?
I mean, you could definitely, so, to state the obvious, you could definitely start short resting here. The question is something going to come through these mirrors as they've shown they've been able to do
right.
Well, that part's
three
fine.
times now, something's come through the mirror.
We back up from one mirror, break it, and we just take care of the whole hall here.
So, but you could definitely try to short rest here in the hall.
How long did it take me to cut through the tent?
Like a minute or so.
If the muted one tries preventing us from getting back in.
I mean, he didn't look like physically that imposing, but I guess you're weakened now. Also, he didn't necessarily seem hostile, so he just was trying to warn you off
Yeah.
and looked afraid himself of whatever was inside that tent.
So did we see the mirror that Elson got taken?
Yeah, that's the one that got shattered.
Oh, okay.
I assume Pebble went for the same mirror where Elson was taken.
So take a quick look at the other mirrors. Do we see Elson in any of them?
No, at this point, no.
I don't know. We might need to cut our way out and then actually go through the actual entrance and then see if we can talk to somebody who runs this uh attraction and see if we can get our friend out.
Whoever
I
runs
think,
this thing is not going to be friendly to us.
especially not if we broke the mirror.
Well, they won't know that. Theoretically.
It's right here. And it may have drowned. I'm sure somebody heard it.
Hyelius is doing mental calculations here about how he can convince this Pengel to shut up.
Good luck. Also, he's still sparkling, FYI.
Sure.
Yeah, I say we cut our way out and then either short rest or rest and then decide to do something. Resting in here, I think short rest in here is a bad idea.
All right, watch my back. Start cutting through the tent.
All right. Yeah.
I have some potions that might help you, Lily. If that would help. If you look like the grass really hurts, maybe you should just drink one of these.
And he hands you a potion of healing.
What does that do?
4 plus 2.
2D, yeah, 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna take it now because I might need it.
I got
5 more back.
I got two more of those if you need them. You can have them if you want. Oh, wait. I gotta give one to Mbop. She got cut a little bit too. Here, Mbop, open them up.
And he pours it into her mouth.
Or you can go ahead and roll. Okay.
All right,
So
so she gets
she's
7 back.
almost back to full. So you're still cutting your way out?
Yeah.
Okay. So it takes you another minute, but you're able to cut a hole in the tent again.
I just go right on through.
So you emerge back into the carnival grounds. I see.
Where we come out at.
Yeah, you are about there. So where do you want to go now?
What's the
Yeah,
sky look like?
Yeah.
What is
Maybe
this?
Yeah,
maybe
it was
we
like the
should.
weather.
Yeah, it is still overcast, but you don't see signs of the storm that was brewing before.
Maybe we should listen to that clown earlier. That when he was saying we shouldn't go in, or well, I guess he wasn't really saying it so much as he was just like kind of moving his hands and gesturing. But still, maybe we should listen to him.
Never trust clowns.
So actually,
Sometimes.
you've emerged right next to the little glass hut that you can see there is a wooden figure of a woman who looks like she's some sort of wizard. And Lee, I need you to make me a wisdom save.
Dave. Oh, yes. Super awesome.
You look upon the figure of this female wizard, uh, and you can also make me a perception check, but you see Lee begins to double over, laughing, rolling on the ground.
You want me to make a perception check?
Yeah, you can all make a perception check.
Um, believing that there's something really funny going on and not wanting to be left out, Pebble begins rolling around in laughter as well.
So, possibly uncomfortably for Mbop, who is on his back, Lee starts rolling around on the ground.
Oh,
But Pyelius and Lee, you both would have noticed that there is a little placard above the wooden mannequin, basically, that's reads Tasha. And I guess you could roll me a history or arcana check to see if you get the reference.
Tasha's hideous laughter.
Just see what you know about Tasha.
I do have history.
Not much.
It almost landed on a good number.
So as you watch Lee, it doesn't seem like this effect is abating.
Let's see. Come on, let's move away from this, whatever the hell this is.
Yeah, after a few moments, Pebble kind of stops. And he's like, I don't really get it.
But you quickly realize you probably are going to have to drag Lee now with you too. And Lee is substantially larger than Umbop. You may have to actually drag Lee.
All right, give me that one. You take Lee.
So is Pebble going to drag Lee?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, guys. We're arranging things.
No
Maddox
problem.
has managed to make a mess with. She's taken many of the books out of my bookcase and just thrown them about. She
I've
also
watched that.
basically emptied a bag of dice across the floor and was throwing them. Yeah, and Lisa just stepped on one of the caltrops that Maddox has laid down. So
So a rogue then.
here, I'm a uh,
Okay, can you guys hear us?
Yes.
We're missing someone. Who are we missing?
Dustin.
Dustin's not here
Dustin is
today.
not.
Is he sick?
He's on a
No,
trip.
he's-
Oh, fun.
Okay.
Yeah, Dad. In your mommy.
Thank you, baby.
You do me a favor,
So-
keep it nice and stuff so I can let all know down.
Daddy?
Is that why I'm here?
No.
One second.
Oh, so
Where are these going?
yeah, now the cat's over here, and the cat and Waldo cannot go get along yet. I'm so overstimulated right now with everything going on. Crack up.
This isn't overstimulation.
For,
This is not overstimulation.
for me,
This is not overstimulation.
Let's
I am
gather every creature in existence in that one room.
Mm.
And now we all have to call for him. Hey Mike. Hey Mike.
so
Hey Mike. Hey Mike.
dragged into a mirror. Pebble tried to chase after him, broke the mirror, and you ended up getting cut with some glass. But
Where?
like
Inside a funhouse.
The second.
But Pebble gave you a potion, so you only had one less HP than you did.
Oh, that's sweet. Thanks, Pebble. Thanks,
Um,
Pebs.
Is the dice bag in there?
I don't know if you let me listen.
Okay.
It looks like Bop is waking up.
Big yawn. going on, guys?
Oh, lovely. That means I don't have to drag someone.
Mbop notices the a few cuts on her body and has to be filled in as to how that happened. When you drag Lee more than 5 feet away from this hut, uh, Lee, you recover and get up, but make me another wisdom save. You resist the urge that you feel to run back into the Hall of Mirrors, but you definitely feel an urge to go into the House of Illusion again.
Wait, who feels the urge to run back into the Hall of Mirrors?
Lee,
Well, shall we find a place where we can lay our weary heads?
so again, you hear the calliope music sounding in the background. The park in general seems to have less people in it because everybody was lining up to go into the big top before. But you still see some people milling around, going from stall to stall, playing the games. Pebble, the Pengle still has that ticket to get a free tattoo, burning a hole. But otherwise, you're free to go anywhere in the park at this point.
I'm looking for somebody who works here.
There are plenty of circus hands who mill about. So you see someone there. It looks you would be aware you were in Shosharn long enough to have run into shifters. This appears to be some sort of leopard-like shifter who is in the colored vests and fairy wings of the circus hands.
Is there an aid station somewhere? You know, when someone gets hurt,
Yeah.
show them. Well, I think it'd be hard to. I could use some attention.
I take her upstairs. This isn't gonna work.
There's
There are some dog food.
no place where you can
I
get
tried.
regular medical attention. It's never really come up.
Really?
Possibly.
I suppose you could try the lost property tent. Think they have some like bandages and first aid stuff there.
You good?
Yeah.
Where do you sleep?
We have carts in the staff area.
Can you get us in there?
Why would you go to the staff area? Staff only.
Yeah, why don't you go to the staff area?
To visit a friend. It's a bit of a surprise, though.
Who's your friend?
Wait, what? We have friends? We have friends here? I'd like to meet a new friend. Or if no friend. But if it was Pelly's friend, then he's gonna be my best friend too.
So I'm just gonna like try and bullshit a name. What seems like what might be an appropriate name for someone who lived in this area.
Right.
Clowny McClownerson, the clown.
Right. I would just add that this is obviously your attempt at a deception check to get into the staff area. So I recognize that's what's coming.
Yeah.
but go ahead and make me your deception check.
Come on, God damn it. I mean, you know what? Let's just go ahead and use a action point, right? This could be interesting. We never know.
Oh well, I was going to look up to see what their passive insight was, but that's better than its passive insight. I mean, I could certainly open the briar to let you in. Burley's not going to like it though.
You don't worry, we go way back.
You know Burley?
You could say that.
So he leads you back around the tents that are closest to you and to an enormous briar that extends upward about 25 to 30 feet. Uh, Large thorns seem to protrude from it, and you think you could probably press your way through it. Like it's not so thick that you couldn't try to make your way through it or try to hack your way through it. But the vines do look strong enough that hacking your way through it would take a while, and pushing your way through this bramble would definitely inflict some piercing damage. But he walks up, and as he just approaches it, wordlessly, you see an archway form that's about 7 feet high, and you're able to walk into the staff area.
Um, I don't know if it would have been possible for me to be just like trying to kind of chat the guy a little bit to gauge how it works.
Um, Go ahead and make me a persuasion check. I mean, that's good enough. Whenever someone gets hired here, you have to meet with one of the leaders of the circus. Both of them have magical devices that will mark you as circus staff. And then once you're marked, every time you approach the briar, it will create an opening for you. So either the rod that Mr. Cadfay carries or the watch that Mr. Cadfile carries around.
Interesting.
And once you enter into the staff area, you all see a fairly large bugbear. This time you notice that he is also wearing the fairy wings, as are most of the people in this park. But he was last time he was just carrying a jack-o'-lantern. Now he's got it sort of positioned over his head like a helmet, and is looking through the eyes, and he comes stomping up to you and looks at the circus hand and says, "Who are these people? Why are you bringing these people into the staff area?"
What do you mean by
And
these people?
the circus hand explains that you know Clowny McClownerson and that you're here.
I I look at him and I just like, don't you remember me?
So, yeah, the only other thing you know about Burley, just adding from last session, the swan that you were speaking to, or at least Lee was speaking to, did mention Burley, the head of security, and said that he loves talking philosophy, apparently. So that was the one reference to this guy for that Lee would have gotten, and then Lee actually met him before. So he recognizes Lee. No, I don't
Wow.
remember you.
But you wound me, sir.
Where would we have met, sir?
Ah, well, if you can't remember, then it's not worth bringing it up. I thought we were friends.
Not to the best of my recollection, but make me a persuasion check. Or deception, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose that would have been a deception, huh? It's better. My deception is 2 additional, but
You can roll again.
okay. Oh my fucking god, really?
Oh, wow.
I did it. It was the 2
Tony,
additional.
how are you rolling so badly, so consistently throughout this campaign?
I don't fucking know, dude.
He's playing
I don't
Paelius, that's
understand.
why.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
mean-
right.
It is Fael. It's trying to get me killed.
He had advantage on a shot against the AC 12 glass golem, and he rolled 2 9s. Double 9.
Yep.
Burley looks at you and crosses his arm and says, I don't remember you at all. If I have forgotten you, I am sorry, but you're not supposed to be in the staff area. If Clowney knows you, and I did not know his last name was McClownerson, but if Clowney knows you, I can tell him to be on the lookout, or you can wait outside the staff area. But he's not even back here right now. He's, if anywhere, in the big top because this is, of course, the time for the main show.
Yes, of course. That's why we were wanting to be back here to surprise him when he got out.
Wait. There's a main show? Is it fun? Is it a good show?
Well, it's a
Is-
3-ring circus, so there are 3 acts for you to choose from. And then at the end of the night, we'll pick the king of the circus.
Oh, you're the king of the circus?
There certainly is. Every night we pick someone to be the king or queen of the circus.
Oh. Ellie, Piggy, can we go? Can we go? Can we go? Lily, can we go? Please, can we go? Mom, can we go? Please, can we go? Can we go? Can we go? Go. Let's go. Come on. It's gonna be so much fun.
And he's like vibrating.
Burley turns to the shifter and says, Karen, if you could show our erstwhile friends to this big top. Clearly, at least one of them wants to experience it, and it is something not to be missed.
There's no medical attention here at the circus, I'm told. No aid station, because I picked some more glass out of my feathers.
No, there are medical supplies at the lost property tent, but nobody there who's dedicated to applying them or would know how.
That's kind of odd.
It's never come up before. Usually people who manage to injure themselves go home.
Oh, so they just leave.
Yes.
We hear that's a bit tricky nowadays.
What do you mean?
Something
So-
about 3 hags.
Oh, there were some hags here, or so I'm told. I didn't see them. But they met with Mistress Shebop and then they disappeared. Actually, that was right before Shebop disappeared, I guess. That was
doesn't
a
seem
while
suspicious
ago.
to you.
I mean, she was around for at least half a day after they left.
Hmm.
I'm sure she'll turn up.
What if there's other danger? What would you do then?
Like what?
Like, what if the 3 hags are still here, causing havoc upon your circus?
I haven't noticed any havoc being wrought except by, well, there is a troublemaker, but it's not the hags.
Who's
There
the
are always
troublemaker?
there are always miscreants. It's a former employee called Kettlesteam.
You guys were wasting time.
Hey, Pebble. Nobody is stopping you.
Yes.
So yeah, you run up to the briar, but the briar does not open for you, so you were essentially still trapped in the staff area.
So he's like hopping, like jumping, like bounding around, waiting.
Um, I'll just look to him very seriously and say, perhaps we should have a conversation. And where can we find that miscreant?
No idea.
Hmm.
Kettle Steam has the ability to disguise herself as often and as in as many different guises as she likes.
Elias would have a little look to Mbob, having heard about her interaction with somebody who could do such a thing.
What does she do? Why is she a miscreant?
She just likes to stir up trouble. She's mad that she got fired.
Why'd she get fired?
Well, I don't like to talk about personnel matters, what with all the potential liability.
Do we look like lawyers to you?
Well, it's
Look at
not
that one.
you, it's
I just look at that one. The fucking pointing to the penguin,
the
fucking
vibrating penguin.
shivering. Yeah,
Why don't you just kick her
positively
out
a
then?
quiver, if you will.
Well, if we could find her, then we would kick her out. But she wanders around changing her face so often. How do we find her? She looks just like anybody else here in the circus. In fact, literally can look like anyone else.
So with all the magic and all the things you have going on, you can't find her?
Well, I don't know what's magic I could use to locate one individual person in the whole circus. Do you have a way of finding her? Because if you could kick her out, that would be appreciated. Though I'm
What would
not
we
sure how
get
you
out of
would,
her?
my gratitude. Even if you kick her out, though, I don't know how you would prevent her from getting back in.
So basically, you're here to keep her from out of the staff area because it doesn't seem like anybody else gets back here.
No, I'm here to guard the staff area so that people in the park, visitors, don't come in here and steal from the performers. That's why I'm standing guard here and not wandering around the park. But I'll tell you what, I will give you a special ticket so that you can go into the big top without having your regular tickets punched. The show will essentially be free.
We don't want our tickets punched yet. Still quite young.
So he walks you over to the edge of the briar, past some of these traveling wagons. Of them all, you can see that there are windows in these wagons. Clearly, only one of them has lights on. And there's some smoke coming out of the chimney at the back of the wagon. You would guess that most of the people, most of the staff are off doing other things since the circus is in operation.
All right. So I see that smoke and I point to it. I said, "Is that normal?"
Yes, it's a chimney. People light fires to heat the inside up or cook food.
Oh, so somebody's cooking in there.
or they're just a little cold. One or the other.
Let's take a breather inside the big top. How long's this show got left?
At this point, that's not exactly as if they ever necessarily kick anybody out, but the main events are probably going to go on for another half an hour.
Ugh. All right. Maybe we could take a short rest in there or something.
So he leads you to the edge of the staff area, and another archway opens up. And the shifter wanders with you. You come out behind the big top tent. There are three golden stars that spin at the top of the big top tents. And on the side of it, the cloth of the tent itself has been magically enhanced so that it's showing illusory depictions of various circus acts, jugglers and clowns and acrobats doing various stunts. At one point, you see there is the illusion of lions that are jumping through flaming hoops, and the shifter directs you to just go around to the front and show him your special ticket, and they will collect them and let you in without punching your regular tickets.
I'll look around, make sure I don't have a little girl with a strange head staring at me still.
You don't see Salpig anywhere. You do briefly notice a small frog-like humanoid that, as you pass by a mirror on your way to the front of the tent, it appears to be clinging to Paelius's back.
I see that.
Yes. In the reflection of this piece of glass, you see this frog-like humanoid that's clinging on to you. But looking over your shoulder, clearly there's nothing there.
I grab
Yeah,
towards it.
there's nothing on your actual back, just your reflections back.
What do you keep looking behind you for?
Just point to the mirror. Still happening.
Is it a mirror that's just standing upright, like by itself, or is it
It
attached?
is it is leaning up against the side of the big top tent.
Okay, so it can easily be put down.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, I will walk over there and set it down.
Okay. So you walk over and lever it down to the ground.
I take out my hand mirror and stick it out and look at Paelius and see if I see the same thing.
You do see there is something on his back. Whatever it is not of a species any of you would have seen before. You might be vaguely aware of bullywugs, but it's not that either.
Mm. Illusions, I'm sure. It's not really there. I can't touch it.
I'm sorry, I have to go look at something. There's something wrong with my dog. I'll be right back.
Mm.
So you enter the big top. Um, you see there are three rings. The stands are pretty packed with people. In the ring that's right in front of you when you come in, there are two manticores and then two circus hands who seem to be causing them to do tricks. Uh, in the middle ring, there are multiple clowns who seem to be playing games with an elephant, a flying monkey, and a lion. And then in the final ring, there are pixies riding giant racing snails in very fast circles around this ring. High overhead, there are acrobats that are walking on high wires and entertaining the crowd by doing acrobatic stunts as they make their way across, including like flipping over one another as they go. The acrobats above you seem to sort of extend over the whole length of the big top as the wires extend between the main poles holding up the tent. So you also see there is a relatively resplendent circus hand in the center of the tent who seems to be holding a glowing rod. The crowd seems to be quite entertained by what's going on with, crowds in different sections of the tent focused on whatever act happens to be closest to them.
Um, I'd try and find a place towards the back where we would be mostly unbothered.
Okay, so you climb up it is essentially like
Pebble would be saying, no, let's get to the front as close as we can.
Go ahead.
I don't want to be away from you guys. I want to watch it right next to you. It's more fun when we're all together enjoying. And it's even more fun when we're up front.
Mm, They might get a bright idea and try and pull me into their act somehow, and I'll not
That
stand
would
for it.
be that's an option.
I'm a bit
Now we have
exhausted
to
for
go.
tricks. On it, perhaps after I've had a moment's rest, I might be okay with it. You, you are more than welcome to go.
I don't want to go if you guys aren't going to go.
I'm sure it'll be quite fine. We'll see you from up there.
But I want to be enjoying it with you. I guess if you all really want to go to the back, I'll go too.
You're not going to guilt Pyelius. All right, let's go to the back.
He's gonna drag his feet and just mope the entire way.
So you go essentially to the northernmost part of the tent, the third ring, just because it's relatively less populated and noisy. This is the ring where the pixies are riding the racing snails, essentially in circles. People seem to have gravitated away from this mostly because although the racing turtles are fast and they're hard for the pixies to control because of the size difference, it just seems generally less dangerous and so therefore somewhat less entertaining. You notice the guy who seems to be running the circus does periodically sort of make announcements about what's going on with the trapeze artists and with in each of the three rings. At one point, he announces, "And now our brave Clowny will stick his head into the lion's mouth." And you see what you identify as clearly an illusion as Clowney sticks his head into the lion's mouth and the lion bites down. And Clowney runs around the ring without a head, eventually his head popping out of his clown costume again as he pretends to shake off this fatal injury.
Pebble
Py-
is screaming.
Pyelius would probably look over to Lee and say, it would be really helpful for us if he did have his head bitten off.
So you are attempting to short rest?
Yeah,
I figure
I
we're in the
think.
smoking section, so we're all gonna light up.
So you are able to short rest after about 20 minutes. Uh, the main attractions seem to come to an end, and they lead the manticores out. There is still the elephant, the lion, and the flying monkey that continue on, but the racing snails also leave. And both of those rings are replaced with circus hands who are dressed up as clowns, who are just performing little amusing stunts and little skits involving their interactions to entertain the people who want to remain. You would gather from what you're seeing is that they just have rotating acts that come in and out periodically in the different rings, and that people can come and go from the big top tent as often as they want. So you probably could just sit here and stay for a while without having to. Every time you leave and come back in, you're sure that they're going to want to punch your ticket again, but there's no particular time limit on how long you stay once your ticket is punched and they let you in. Your time coming in, they just collected the special tickets that Burley gave you. But
So
Clowney McClownerson, or whatever his real last name is, he has also cleared out and has been replaced by a different clown.
we can use hit die during the short rest.
Yes.
Okay. Which I need to do. I'll take those 12.
You would also notice that the calliope music is much louder in here. It's unnaturally loud. There must be some sort of magical amplification of the music.
We ride up like in the very back up against the tent itself.
Right.
So I feel back there. Does it feel, how thick does it, is it pretty thick or does it feel?
Yeah, it's not. It is, except it is very much like the Hall of Illusions material. It would take some time if you wanted to like try to tear or cut through it.
Right.
It is like canvas that is like a foot thick.
Okay.
And like I said, there on the outside there are illusions showing the sorts of acts that they show you on the inside. So if you were to cut through it, the same was true of the Hall of Illusions, and when you cut through it, it interfered with the magic, causing the magical illusions to dispel over the whole tent. So you, presumably that would happen here too.
Mhm.
So if you cut into it, it would be obvious that somebody damaged the tent. Then you might have to pay for it.
No way, that guy was able to repair it right away.
Like he repaired the hole. Actually, when you exited the tent, there were still no illusions on the outside.
Oh, got
Mending didn't fix the illusion.
it. No, that's unfortunate. Uh, I think Pielius would just watch, seeing no need to ponder much at the moment. Take this short rest.
So you hear there is a shriek and a cry as a dwarf dressed as a clown begins running in the center ring. He has a top hat on that he's holding down. The flying monkey swoops down and snatches it off his head with a shriek. You hear the lion begins to roar and attacks one of the other clowns. At first, you're pretty sure this is an illusion, but then you see blood come pouring from the clown that was attacked by the lion, and you hadn't seen any blood before, so you realize this might be a real event where the animals are freaking out. The lion is startled and begins barreling towards the crowd on the opposite side. And you can see generally people begin to panic and start running in random directions, including the people around you, but you're in the back, so you're unlikely to be trampled.
This is obviously a really good illusion because, as we were told, nobody gets hurt here. So Lee just sits back.
I didn't say nobody gets hurt. He says that they send them home when they get hurt.
They don't have an aid station. They're fine.
Like sure, the former employees might sue for defamation if they tell you about personnel matters, but assault, nobody sues for assault in D&D.
Um, so we haven't had the short rest yet.
No, you have. This is
Oh, okay.
after everything has changed over.
I gotta roll. Okay. Oh, of course. Okay. Does my strength come back?
That's a good question. Let me check.
I think it's generally a long rest.
No, your strength comes back.
Okay. Sweet. Back up to a 9.
So, like I said, people are panicking. A lot of them are making their way out. A couple of people are being trampled. The lion starts attacking people, but as the circus hands try to get it under control.
I just sit there for a minute. Like we're in the back, so we're not going to get trampled.
Yep.
Right.
Um, and that's just a whole bunch of people definitely blocking the way from us being able to do anything down there yet. So I'm sitting back and watching to see if they have it under control. Do I need to make some shots with a bow? Just watching.
So it takes about a minute before a large portion of the crowd has made their way out. By then, you see the guy who was holding the glowing magical rod has come back in, having heard the commotion, and he raises the rod over its head. You hear a deep gong-like sound ring through the tent, and all three animals, the elephant, the lion, and the flying monkey, all seem to fall into a stupor and settle down asleep. Several people have been trampled by the elephant and injured by the lion and are probably dead. The monkey has also inflicted some damage. Those people might live, but you never know what you'll catch from a monkey bite. The big top is mostly deserted at this point. There are a lot of circus hands who are tending to the animals and the people to the extent they survived. You can see they're immediately beginning to try to clean things up.
Guys, I gotta say, I didn't get the show. It started out really cool, but then it just kind of, I don't know what just happened.
That is called a circus mishap.
Mishap?
Yep.
I don't know what this word is, mishap.
Someone fucked up.
You said a bad word.
Well, won't be the last time. I'm old enough. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Um, we're okay. So the what was the first thing to attack? What seemed to be
The
the
first
cause again?
the the flying monkey was attacking one of the dwarven clowns. That seemed to
He,
be the first thing you saw.
yeah,
And
he had it
since
coming though. He deserved it.
Because he's a clown.
Yeah, that's half of it.
Just imagining the one episode of Seinfeld where the one guy dressed as a clown goes up to Kramer. The guys, do you like clowns? No. Fucking scared witless. Was real funny.
what do you guys want to do?
I say we sit in here and watch everything that happens, and you know, make them, wait for the people to come in and clean up or whatever.
Right. They're in the process of cleaning up and carrying out like the wounded who can't make it on their own. Collecting the bodies of the people who didn't survive. Someone
Um,
comes in and begins to prestidigitate the blood away.
I start
is
clapping. Good show, good show. Bravo.
You see that gets the attention of the guy with the wand who starts to make his way over in your direction.
now I'm picturing Shia LaBeouf.
And you see, as he gets close to the stands, there are still a few people in the area. He grows abnormally tall, his legs just sort of stretching out until each of his legs is probably about 15 feet long as he steps over the people and up into the stands. He is, probably 15 feet away from you, but sort of looming high up, higher than you are in the stands. And he looks at Lee and says, "Are you mocking us, sir? Or
Mocking me.
ma'am, as I can't tell from looking at you?"
Oh, that's a sick burn.
I mean, it was an entertaining show.
But there's nothing going on now except for the tragedy of these people who've been injured, some of them killed.
That they were actually injured. I thought it was all part of the act.
No, this is what we call a mishap.
A mishap. Does it
What's
happen
a
often?
mishap?
I just tap Pebble. See.
I still don't know what the word is.
This is it.
It's when things don't go as planned.
Yeah, okay. Does this happen
Wait,
all the time?
No,
this
it's
wasn't
quite
part of the
rare.
show?
Oh,
No.
it's quite rare, so we are fortunate.
But I guess that makes more sense then, because I didn't get the show tonight. It started out fun, but then it got weird.
Are you taking the people that are hurt to the lost and found?
Why would we take them there? They're not lost.
Well, you don't have an aid station, so you're not taking them there, or you're just kicking them out.
What's an aid station? Oh, you mean a place where they could go and get healing? We don't have many
Yeah.
healers here. That sort of
Yes, that's
magic
what
is
I've heard.
quite rare.
First aid.
Well, we used to have a doctor, but he up and, well, or sorry, she uh, had to be let go.
Is this what's the name? I forgot that fucking person's name.
Kettle steam.
Kettlestein? Had to be let go, huh? Like a is this a we heard about a Kettlestein, that's this person?
Yes, she was our, not really, it wasn't her job to be a healer or medic, but she served in the role while she was here.
Certainly
And
seems a
he
person of
he
interest.
leans over Pebble and says, "Would you like to ride the elephant?"
Yes.
So he reaches down. Again, he is now approximately 20 feet tall, and lifts Pebble up and begins to walk, stepping over people as he goes, and
Pebble is screaming.
I
he
just
sets
imagined
you.
like as soon as it was asked, Paelius sort of shifted because the whole bench was like vibrating. Like your cell phone is ringing on top of a fucking bleachers.
And the elephant is even shorter than he is, but he reaches out and sets you on the back of the elephant's neck. And you see as the trunk bends upward and begins to sniff you, and the elephant begins.
And he like taps on the trunk,
The elephant begins to
trying to
walk in.
pet it, but
Right. Elephant begins to walk in circles around the center ring. You can see below you the lion is being tended to by one of the circus hands. You would notice the circus hand is a warforged.
every few steps he looks back at Alias and Lee, and just is like,
Paelius is not looking at him. Have we seen Warforged? We haven't seen them, right?
Um, you would have seen like one or two in the circus,
Okay.
but
But like
mostly as
from the when
circus.
our time in the future?
Oh, there would have been warforged in the future.
Okay. Right.
They'd be pretty rare, but they would still exist. They'd be pretty rare in the sense of they'd be like relics from before the greater morning.
Right.
But after a few minutes, you would have heard, Pebble would have heard the circus hands refer to this guy as Master Cadfay. And Cadfay waves his wand, and the elephant kneels down and lets you slide down his trunk as you pop up and land on your feet.
Pebble is just ecstatic. He basically just starts running around in circles, unable to adequately get the energy out, and just starts bouncing around in glee,
And as
and
Mr.
sliding
Cad,
around on his belly too.
right, I was going to say, as Cadfay sees you sliding around on your belly and how energetic you are, he would say, "Are you interested in joining the circus?" And Paelius is like, "Go for it."
Oh yeah. Just what Paelius has been waiting for. He stands up and walks down.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But
We'll have to
oh, you.
discuss pay, of course.
I.
What? What do you mean? He'll work for free.
This is the happiest day of my life.
It's beginning to be ours too.
But I can't. I'm on a mission from timekeepers to do things with my friends.
A mission from timekeepers.
Yeah,
That's a silly thing to say.
What sort of mission are you on?
I don't know.
I assume it's an important mission if they've assigned you to it.
Oh, it's very important. But, you know, my friends know more of the details than me. I just like to hang out.
Are you from Thelanis as well? Many people here are from Thelanis.
The land the land is this is the land.
No, Thelanis, the plane.
Where's a plane?
It's a separate world,
A
different
separate
from the
world.
one, right? There's the world we're in now, the world of humans and elves and dwarves. And then there's another world. There are many other worlds, but one of the other worlds is called Thelanis, and different sorts of creatures live there, like the talking swans.
Is the Nanis is there a Thelanis in the Frost Belt?
There, Thelanis is can be entered from almost anywhere. I don't know if you can enter into Thelanis from the Frostfell, but it's possible.
Wait, that's where I'm from. Frost Belt.
That that would make sense if you're not from Thelanis, if you're from this world of humans and dwarves, that a species like yours would be from the Frostfell.
Oh yeah, there's lots of dwarves there. And Goliath too. Some other things.
Well, when you're done with I'm sure your important mission, if you want to join the circus, you just have to find us.
I would love that. I can't wait.
Your ability to slide around would be very amusing. You would have quite a career here.
Does a career mean fun? Because I'm all about that.
It means you making sure everyone around you has fun so that they
Oh.
can love you and all be your friends.
And dance.
Yeah, you would notice this guy himself is an elf, although he's oddly a sort of light gray skinned elf, which wouldn't necessarily mean much to Pebble, but you would have seen elves before, but never an elf of this particular hue.
Is Clowny McClownerson still around?
No, he hightailed it when the lion started attacking people.
Got it.
Doesn't want to actually get his head bitten off.
Which way did he go? Towards the staff area, presumably.
There's one main entrance. So make me a perception check to see if you saw where he went in the confusion. Nope. The tradition of low rolls continues.
Have
It's real shit.
have they collected all the bodies and all the people
Yes,
that were hurt? Okay, they're all gone.
yeah, everything has been cleaned up and they're beginning to get back into their regular rhythm. And you can see that there are new spectators who have been filing in, although the tent is largely empty of spectators at the moment. There are, maybe a dozen or two people with more trickling in. And this Master Cadfay says to Pebble, "You should definitely come back at the end of the night. We select a king or queen of the circus every night, and
Oh, heard
usually,
about that.
usually it's someone who is especially prominent. So it could be you.
I am definitely gonna be here.
We can make
It,
no promises.
it should begin in 4 hours. We will make our selection from the people who attend the event.
I will definitely be here.
I look forward to seeing you all then." and his legs grow back to normal size. And he heads for there's a section of this tent on the far side from where you came in the center that is also sort of hidden behind more tarp. He goes into that part of the tent.
Guys, 4 hours is so long. What are we gonna do until then?
Well, we do still need to get Elgin.
Oh my gosh! I forgot about Hildy.
Now I'm picturing someday it'll all come down to like, oh no, we've all been captured except for Pebble. Pebble has to come save us.
He's gonna go off, have a whole thing all day, having fun with all the little kids around, creating little ice things for the little sheets of ice so they can all skate around with him. He does this all day, and he gets to the end of the day. He's like, "I wish I could tell my friends about what I did." My friends.
I was picturing that, but it's like 5 years later.
Probably just the SpongeBob 10 hours later.
So
So
where are
yeah,
you off to now?
So when we're leaving, are there people coming in?
Yes.
Okay, and as I pass them, I will say, enjoy the show. I wouldn't sit up front.
So they look at, that makes them confused and nervous. As you walk outside, you do notice the storm is back. You see flashes of lightning in the sky overhead, though it's still not raining.
shall we return to the House of Illusions?
Okay.
Yeah, we
See.
gotta go find Ozzy.
Right.
And we gotta do it quick, because we only have 4 hours.
This is why I said we make no promises. But sometimes we can't keep them.
I'm not making promises. I'm just gonna do it. We're gonna get it done, and then everything's gonna work out fine. And I will be in the last show, and I might be king or queen. I don't know which one.
Only time will tell.
King and queen, like, I are they like first and second, or is it like one's the best at laughing and the other's the best at tickling?
Shall we go inside?
So as you make your way
Paelius
down,
is not a babysitter. And never was.
I was just, for whatever reason, I just imagined Paelius discovering that Eberron does have shock collars.
Need a bark collar.
And then picturing Pebble, just like periodically Pebble does a Pebble thing, and it's like, yeah.
Stop bit me.
There's
So
like
as
one
you're
thing that disables him is whenever he gets super excited and he starts to get in that vibrating mode and it just happens to resonate perfectly and just disables it and breaks it altogether.
Or it just tickles him.
You gotta change the channel on it.
That's right, though, but it's Paelius. Paelius would like push the button on the remote, roll badly, and it would explode in his hand.
Fucking right.
So as you're making your way back down to the Hall of Illusions, you could see there is a halfling couple standing nearby the tent with the wooden mannequin of Tasha. The halfling man begins to propose to the woman who spins around a bit, getting closer to the tent. And as he proposes, she just begins laughing uproariously and falls to the ground, rolling on her back. The halfling man takes this as a rejection for obvious reasons and begins to cry and gets up and runs into the Hall of Illusions. Meanwhile, the clown who normally stands outside runs over to try to block him, but is too late. So the halfling man disappears inside. The clown does not pursue him in. He runs towards the entrance. There are actually two entrances to this tent, but he runs towards the entrance, but can neither shout out to try to get the man to come back, nor is he willing to go into the tent himself.
I just like watch that unfold. I'm like, that clown is very bad at his job.
And he sees you and begins to motion excitedly for you to follow the halfling in.
Oh, now you want us to go in.
He nods.
Well, how do we go about without getting lost?
He pauses and looks confused.
It's a hall of illusion. It's disorienting. How do we get through?
He shrugs.
Going. We get through by going with our feet or our bellies.
You're I hope you never find an endless maze.
Aren't those the ones that are most fun? Because then the fun never ends.
You'll likely just starve to death.
But then I'll just take breaks and go home.
It's an end. You wouldn't. Okay, let's go.
Is there anybody like there to take a ticket?
Just the clown, but he's willing to let you pass since he thinks you're going in to save the halfling.
But there's nobody else here that talks.
Right. No, there are always hands around, but he seems to be the one who is watching over this attraction.
I look at Paelius. Do you think that he is pretending not to speak, or do you think he could really speak?
I just look. Is he standing next to us, or did we walk away first?
I wouldn't say it in front of him.
Right. I assume you walked away, but you're right.
I make no
Lee
such
might
assumption.
well,
I don't know.
yeah, Lee might well be like, "Is this guy?"
Use your
Right.
words, motherfucker. Oh well. Um, can I insight?
Yeah,
Do I
you can
remember
insight.
like him opening his mouth at any point and see that he's missing a tongue or something?
Give me an insight check. You didn't notice him missing a tongue.
Come on, god damn it. Can I get
Near
above
as
a fucking 10, please?
near as you can tell, he's legitimately mute. Though there's no obvious like reason why he would be. There usually isn't.
If he can, he's pretty convincing.
I mean, all of you can make the insight check. You all saw him. You'd have a gut feeling.
Pebble.
Yeah, Pebble, you would be sure that he can't speak, but not only that, you would guess that this was some sort of like dark magic that is causing him to be unable to speak.
As Pebble realizes this, he would go over to the clown and he would say,
I'm I'm sorry that it's happening to you. I'll try and make it better if I can. Do you need a hug?
He looks very sad as you begin to speak. Although you suspect he's more sad because he's afraid of what's going to happen to the halfling inside there. But hearing the offer of a hug, he opens his arms wide and kneels down or
And don't
crouches down. You're not that short. He's just a little bit taller than you.
and don't worry about the halfling. We'll make sure the halfling stays safe. I'm very fast. We'll catch him.
You see a tear forms in his eye as he nods. He smiles at you and then walks you over to the entrance.
Don't worry. Everything's gonna be okay. Come on, guys. We gotta get the halfling guy.
And don't forget Elgin.
And Alvin. What? Two halfling guys.
Correct. We may be. I don't know why. I don't know what possesses Paelius to bring this up. He says, we may be pushed into an impossible choice. Select Elgin. We save Elgin's life, or we save the other man's life.
I don't get it. Let's
It's
just say both.
Sometimes you can't.
No.
Just back over to Liam. I guess he is confident.
The unflappable optimism of a Pengull.
Yep.
Get it? Unflappable.
They can flap, just unflyable. Do you think a Pengull wizard would refuse to learn fly?
I might imagine the opposite. Like that
I
that
don't
would
know.
be
Yeah,
the Pengull dream is learning how to fly. I mean, not maybe not to the point where they think it's better than being able to swim, but it's like swimming in the air.
Yep, swimming when you can breathe. That's really
So,
what flying is, just the secret to learning to swim while breathing.
great.
I thought flying was falling and forgetting to hit the ground,
Well,
according to
maybe
the
for
Hitchhiker's Guide.
maybe for some.
So you make your way back into the tent. At least immediately, there's no obvious sign of where the halfling went, but it is a maze, so you can only go up so many feet before it begins to branch out. So what's the marching order this time? Oh, and Mbop has fallen asleep again. Your short rest tuckered her out. So who's
Yeah,
carrying Mbop?
unfortunately, Lisa may not be able to make it because Maddox is just really being pussy.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, we'll probably wrap it up in half an hour anyway, but I would like to end this game by one, unless we're like really in the middle of something.
Pebble will take the lead. He wants to try and find the halfling quick.
And I think Lee's the only one with like a light source.
No, I have dancing lights. But
So
Lee
who,
always brings out the ever burning torch, so I don't really have to cast the spell very often.
right.
I can see
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
So whoever is in the lead, you can make me a survival check as you try to search for signs of this missing halfling. So you do notice, oops, almost ended the meeting. You do notice that on the ground is covered in tile, so it's not like it's bare dirt underneath your feet. But because the halfling was out walking in the park, you are able to spot faint hints of his boot prints as he has made his way around. So you are tracking him, but everybody make me a perception check. Oh, I see. Lee, you distinctly hear the sound of what you imagine to be crying children. You're not necessarily sure of, like, it could be just some very diminutive race, but it sounds like children crying. And it's coming from a different direction than the tracks lead. But
Uh,
Pyelius and Pebble haven't heard this, so it's up to you whether or not you tell them.
yes, I point this out. If you listen, you can hear children crying.
And you can still hear the calliope in here, but if you focus on it now that Lee has heard it, you can hear the sound of crying children.
Oh yeah, they'll make the children happy. That's
I mean,
that's why they're crying. They're saying they need to be happy.
Yes, but this is a house of illusion. Doesn't necessarily mean it's visual. It could be audio as well.
What?
and I,
Well, is it children or halflings? I mean, humans are human. You guys all look kind of well, not you, Mimi, but like the people without the fur, like Peleus, like it's it, some are big, some are little, some are dark, some are light, some have big feet, some have small feet. All you have different voices. So how do we know it's children crying? And what kind of children?
well, all I know is I have read horror stories and crying children in a haunted tent or supposedly pretend to be. It certainly is attacking us.
Well, keep moving forward then. Looking
So
for
you're going
one
after
of
the
two
halfling?
halflings.
Okay.
One of the two halflings.
So as you continue to follow the tracks that the halfling left, um, the sound of the crying children disappears. It sounds like, listening to it, it sounds, especially since you got a nat 20 to Lee, it does sound like there's more than one child crying, and their cries seem to stop at different times. But after a minute, all three of them have stopped crying. And you round a corner, around a bend in this maze, you come upon the halfling, and you see on his back there is that frog-like being. It seems to be smothering him, its hands wrapped around his mouth, and he is sort of flopping around trying to shake it off.
Are we
Wait,
around
can you say that
mirrors?
again?
So you round a bend in the mirrors and you come upon the halfling. the halfling has it not a reflection, and on his actual back, you see the same frog-like being that you saw in the reflection on Pyelius's back. And it has got its long-limbed frog-like fingers wrapped around his mouth and nose, preventing him from breathing, and seems to be suffocating him to death.
Pebble immediately runs and drop kicks the frog.
So we will roll initiative and go back to that. Let's see. Oops, I don't know that thing. Just a second.
Still here, I'm just off camera.
So everybody can roll initiative. You notice there's a very acrid smell coming from the frog-like creature.
If I look in a mirror, do I still see one on my back?
No, you do not. So it goes first, but seeing that you guys are there, it is going to release this guy and charge up. And it immediately zeroes in on Pyelius. And it has uh, a club that's nearly the size of its body in its hand. But it tries to bite Pyelius and then swings this club at him, missing. And that's its turn. And Lee, before you do anything, The smell of this creature begins to overwhelm you, and you have to make me a Constitution save. So you make it, so you don't have to make that save again. You're immune to this effect, but you can. It is an overwhelming, almost overwhelming smell. You can go. So the second one hits. Obviously, the first one missed. Anything else you're doing? You're muted, by the way.
My bad. Okay, that's it. Yep.
Pebble's turn.
All right, I'm coming. The dog is messing with the cat. Just give me a sec. Okay. So with this thing smelling so bad, uh, can I just hold my breath since Pebble can hold his breath for an hour?
Uh, you can, although
Or hold his breath after 15 minutes, actually.
right. So what I would say is, so he sort of ran up to you, so you have to make the con save now, but you can hold your breath after that.
Okay.
So you make it.
Okay.
And you can definitely hold your breath to avoid smelling it. Technically, you are immune to this effect from him now,
Okay.
but it still stinks.
Yeah, so I'll still be holding my breath. So I'm gonna go attack it.
That's a hit.
And then I'll use a Kai point to do flurry of blows.
Also a hit.
And then that's my turn.
So you inflict substantial damage on this creature. And you can see it looks shocked and stunned that you were able to do this much damage this quickly. You can see doubt in its eyes about this decision to attack. And Peleus' turn.
I guess I gotta make a con save.
Yes.
It's not my forte.
So you are poisoned.
Okay. It always sends it.
But it's still your turn.
That's gonna remove my sneak attack damage. Because now I have
Yeah, you're
disadvantage.
disadvantaged to hit.
Um, I guess I just roll. Um, I'll just stay. I'll pull out. Mechanically, there's no reason, but I feel like this kind of weird close quarters, small target. I would pull out the dagger over the rapier. So cool. This is what I expected to happen.
Anything else you're doing?
I will bonus action disengage. Should have done that initially, I suppose. This is the person.
Yeah, that's the halfling.
Okay. Strangely looks like a cultist.
It's actually a commoner. It might be a female commoner. I just pulled the commoner block.
I would go here probably.
Okay. Anything else?
Um, nope. I'll just kind of like peer down at this guy. Is he alive still?
Yes, he is gasping for air, but he wasn't suffocated at the time you found him, just in the process of being suffocated.
I just like looked up. You should get up.
Uh,
That's
he,
it.
yeah, he nods, acknowledging that he should probably run.
Do you know how to get out?
Uh, Not really. I don't know how I got here. I couldn't retrace my steps.
Do not run blindly, or this might happen to you again.
So this frog-like creature is going to disengage as well, and run here, and he runs into the mirror, and you watch as he turns and begins to run. You, at least Paelius sees him turn and begin to run in the reflection.
A certain direction.
It appears as though he's running up on the map relative to where you are.
Okay. I'll point him out. He's moving. There.
Well, Pebble
So,
Pebble would try and run after him, but he wouldn't run full on into the mirror this time.
I just like
so
I would
go ahead.
sort of like try and track him like with my finger, like indicating that he's moving. Moved past the one mirror.
Right. So essentially, we're out of rounds now because eventually he is going to turn around a corner and you can't pursue him through the mirror. So you're going to lose him. But you did save this halfling who comes up to you, comes up to Paelius and says, "Thank you. My name is Ruben. I just, I thought I was getting married, but she just laughed at me and turned me down. And so I ran in here to hide, but I got lost. And then I it felt weird and it looked in the mirror and I thought I saw a thing on my back. But then it reached around and it started to cover my mouth and nose. And it turned out it really was on my back. I don't know how it wasn't there a second before. And then I couldn't breathe, but luckily you guys showed up.
No
I think it would
problem,
have,
Ruben.
think it would have killed me if it weren't for you.
It most certainly would have.
But now you're safe. And now we're friends.
Yes, we are friends. I owe you my life.
You should go back to your uh, spouse potential.
I can't face her again. I should make sure she's okay, but
Go talk to her.
There are a lot
Do we?
more of
Do
your
we?
species. You should be okay.
Do we? I don't remember
God,
what direction
Waldo.
we use. I didn't see our direction in here, but can we lead this
right.
guy out?
Again, not really. Well, once you're in here, it becomes impossible to figure out which way is which.
Hmm.
So you have to, from where you are now, you have to essentially pick a direction and see where you wind up. You know that there were two entrances, but you're not sure which direction you would have to go to get to either of them.
whatever. I'll just look at him like, I doubt you'll make it back alive. Stay out of our
What?
way.
Take me
Just
with you. Don't
keep
leave me here
close.
alone.
Keep close, but stay out of the way.
I'll do that. I won't bother you. Just help me get out of here.
I have given you the keys to success. It's up to you to use them.
So I think that frog guy, if he was running away, he'd try to run for safety. And if he's running for safety, he'd probably run more into this place. But maybe he'd run out of sight of it. So I just don't know if we should go in the same direction as him or the opposite.
I just peeked something way down here. I suppose I might. Can I discern what that might be? Kind of looks like smoke, I guess, but maybe it's just
Uh,
the edge of the canvas
yeah, I think
or
it's
the
just the
tent.
edge.
You could always cut a way out.
We could always start smashing these mirrors and see how long it takes for somebody to come and find out what's going on.
As long as we have to be careful.
Well, yeah.
But what if we got what if we break the mirror that Elf is in? Then we break him.
Oh, he'll be all right.
But what if we don't find all the pigeons?
We'll save one.
Uh, oh, okay.
This will be very loud. Well, everybody back away from which one, everyone is going to be broken.
Or do you want to just try to wander around and try to find our way out?
I, both seem equally dangerous.
So somebody roll me a d12.
7.
So you begin to hear. Oh, I'm sorry. Paelius rolled first. So
I wasn't
Oh,
trying.
sorry.
I just rolled. I didn't know who was going to make it.
Okay.
Doesn't matter to me. I don't know what it is.
right.
Pick
Let
the
me
cooler one.
just. But
I didn't realize you rolled.
you begin to hear the sound that is exactly identical to the other five you rolled as you watch another glass golem appear around the corner.
Hey,
Let me clear this. And it prepares to attack.
Not another one. I'm not still poisoned, right?
You are still poisoned.
Some bullshit. That damn thing.
So you get to go first.
I guess I technically had disadvantage on that then if I'm still poisoned.
On what thing?
On the initiative roll. It worked out then.
Wow. Okay.
Here's where I
Hey,
roll.
yep.
I'm gonna go back down now. I'm still poisoned. Um, I'll you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna take the bonus action to hide first. Try and get, break a little line of sight for a second,
Okay.
seeing it sort of start to come out of the fucking glass or whatever. So, uh, yeah,
So you believe you were successfully hidden.
yep. And then I peek out and try and shoot at it. Whether it's disadvantage or not.
Yeah, your arrow goes a little. You once again look and see how many people are between you and the creature, and you're like, God damn it! And you half-heartedly fire your arrow, and unfortunately, it goes a little wide.
Got boom bop on the ground over there. Like, God dang it. Anyway, go ahead.
So it's Lee's turn.
Uh, this thing about killed me last time. I assume if I move away from it, get an attack of opportunity, I have to disengage.
That's pretty good bet.
Okay, I will disengage. And I'm going to attempt to step through that mirror.
Are you just stepping towards it or running into it?
No, I'm not going to run into it.
So it's a solid mirror and it's not letting you pass.
Okay. So 5, 10, 20, 10, 20, 25. I'll move down here. I bump up against it and then keep moving.
Okay. So that's all you're doing?
Yep.
Pebble. And you may be muted again.
I'm just thinking. Um, hmm. Okay. I'm going to use a Kai point and the hell? Uh, wait a minute. Oh, I don't need to use a Kai point. So I'm just going to use a bonus action from my durable feat to spend a hit dice to gain temporary hit points. So I get 4 temporary hit points as an icy armor forms over Pebble. And then he is going to back away here. Oh wait, no, there's that guy there. He can't leave the guy. So he's gonna stand in between the guy and him. Uh, but then he can't do the thing he wanted to do very well. Um, That's fine. He'll use Ray of Frost, so it'll be a disadvantage since it's right in melee, but that's what he'll do.
Okay. That hits.
Um, and then you know what? I'm gonna use. No, actually, that that's it. That's my turn.
Okay. Uh, Ruben the halfling is going to move through your space, try to clear out. He'll go down here. He doesn't want to run too far ahead of anybody. Oh, the golem didn't go. Well, you're right in front of him. So the golem, you see these glass-like shards begin to rise up like little blades up and down its arm as it tries to stab you with them.
Yeah.
And then it shifts itself down here, seemingly trying to get close to Paelius. It moves it around you partially. Then that's actually when Ruben would go. Although, so when Ruben starts to move around you to try to get away, it is going to take an attack of opportunity against Ruben. And it will hit. And so Ruben actually doesn't make it all the way down there.
Well,
Ruben is
did he disengage? I mean, he didn't take any action.
right. That's true. You're right. So he would disengage to try to get away. So Paelius' turn again.
Um, so I know it's not like a thing, but not in the fifth edition book. It was in the old versions. But I'd really like a blackjack, you know?
I mean, I think they do have a sap in the 2024 version, but it
Yeah.
doesn't do it. First, it would do bludgeoning damage, and that tends to make the shards expand outwards. But it also doesn't. In 3.5, they used to have the sap that was like auto knockout. Doesn't
Yeah.
do that anymore.
Right.
I think it dazes or something like that. Like there's some new effect it has.
Hmm. Um, yeah, no, the idea though is that it seems resistant to the piercing and slashing. Maybe I
But
can
it's
tank a
yeah,
hit
it's
if I can sneak attack it at some point. Of course, I'm poisoned right now, so that doesn't really help either. So, I'm gonna bonus action hide. Um,
you need to get one of those wooden practice swords from Baldur's Gate 3,
right?
the finesse
What
bludgeoning weapon.
the absolute fuck is up with these rolls? Killer, dude. Um, I moved to this side. I assume I could kind of at least hear that he moved to the other side of this thing here.
Yes. Yeah, you're aware he's there.
I will have like watched the mirror as I sort of approach from this side, just to make sure there's nothing like close by in the mirror.
Make me a perception check.
I guess I have disadvantage. Oh wait, Why did it only roll one? F. It doesn't matter.
Looks safe to you.
Yep. All right. Sure does. I go here. I can't like quite tell what all is blocks line of sight because I could still see them from here, and I don't know why. So I'm just gonna shoot at him here.
That hits.
Maybe I do something here. All right. I think this adds the sneak attack, but you can ignore it. Or you can not ignore it. It'll make very little difference. um I go back over here. Actually, do I? Oh, sorry. I go here.
Okay. Are you hiding again?
I already did the hide,
Okay.
so I had to wait till next turn.
Okay. Lee.
Those are 5-foot squares, right?
Yes.
How tall is the mirrors?
So they vary in height depending on where you are. Right here, they're about 25 feet.
Yeah, so all right, I'm not going to do that then. I'll move down there.
Okay. Anything else?
If
I
there's a
assume you're
mirror
take
there,
I
go
assume you're
ahead.
taking yeah, there are mirrors on all the walls. I assume you're taking the torch with you.
Yeah, I guess I'm taking the whatever that action is.
Dodge.
There we go.
Hot.
Thanks. The dodge action. Yeah, and I will touch when I go by the mirrors. I'll touch them to see if they are solid.
They appear to be solid. Roll me a
Okay.
perception check.
This character actually has good perception.
So you do see lurking in the back, essentially down the hall from where you are on the far side of Reuben, what you think is a sort of shadowy form similar to the one that attacked Pyelius before.
Okay.
So essentially over here. But when you look down the hallway, you don't see it.
Okay.
It's only in the reflection.
All right.
Pebble.
Um, if
Also, is somebody
I
carrying
spend
Umbop
an
or are we
action
just
point,
is someone carrying
can
Umbop or is this
I?
a slow retreat away from her?
I think she's just napping on the ground right now. Hey, get off there. Of course, you would find the one remaining dice on the floor. Um, if I use an action point when I do flurry of blows, can I substitute my unarmed strikes for my trident?
Sure.
So I'm going to yeah.
So, anything else you're doing?
Nope.
Okay. The golem. He's going to attack Pebble. 23, 9 damage.
Yeah, Pebble is nearing death.
And that's his turn. He is going to try to slip past you, though.
I will make an attack of opportunity if he.
Yeah, he's trying to move away from you.
Shame.
So he runs up to Pyelius, but that's his turn.
Get away from me.
Ruben is going to run in this direction. Just do something real quick. So as Ruben sort of runs around the corner, you see uh, the form of that shadow creature comes stepping out of a mirror and tries to grapple him. And successfully does grapple him. So he can't run away.
Is Ruben wearing wings?
He is wearing the fairy wings,
Oh,
but Pyelius' turn. The little glass creature has run up to you and is now essentially in your face.
Mm-hmm. Um, bonus action disengage. Oops. Um, dart around him before he realizes what just happened. He ran at me. He turns around and I'm shooting at him, but probably rather poorly because poison. Yep.
That still hits him.
Oh shit.
So what's your
Um,
damage?
yeah, just ignore the sneak attack. It's just that first one. That first one there, the 8, which
Right.
ain't bad.
So anything else you're doing?
Around a corner.
You're going to
I'm done.
hide?
I had to disengage.
Oh, you're right. So Lee,
I run up here to help our halfling friend. I will attack the shadow. Don't know what it's going to do. Shadow with the scimitar. 23 to hit the with the scimitar on the shadow if it actually does damage.
uh, it does some damage.
All right. And I hit it with my shield.
That also hits and does some damage. So it feels like, you're almost pushing through molasses as you hit this thing. And your shield does pass through this shadowy creature, but you feel like you took some of its substance away.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Pebble.
Do I have line of sight of the thing from where I am?
Let's see. Yes, you do.
Okay.
Just barely, but a little bit.
Um, is that going to give it cover?
Yes.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna throw a dagger at it. Damn it.
Yeah, because you're throwing it sort of between two corners, it just barely misses. Anything
Um,
else?
mm, I'm gonna use take a bonus action to disengage. Uh, and then I'm gonna try and get closer to Lee. Uh, right, yeah. Uh, that will be my turn.
Okay. Uh, well, the Glasgow was gonna go. And it slashes out at Pyelius. 5 damage, and that's its turn.
Bastard.
The Shadows is still restraining Reuben the Halfling, but he is also partially going to lash out with a tendril at Lee, but miss. And that's its turn. Reuben is going to attempt to break free. Or did I close that? I didn't. That has a pretty good chance. So Reuben manages to free itself from the shadow, himself from the shadow, and is going to try to run, which gives the shadow a chance to attack because he can't disengage this time. And Reuben falls to the ground, seemingly unconscious, and is out of the fight essentially. Actually, Pebble, give me a perception check
Uh,
with
I'm
advantage.
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Or if you want to roll it for me, I'm trying to take care of the dog and put him away.
No problem, I can roll it. So Pebble notices that one of the entrances to the tents, is right around the corner that he's standing at.
Oh, cool.
And it's Pyelius' turn. I don't know if Pebble announces that.
Uh,
Hey guys, there's one of the entrances. We can get out.
I'm dealing with something. Um, I'll disengage, bonus action, shoot at it again. No way
That
that
is.
hits.
Oh, right,
Uh,
you're poisoned.
yeah. 5, 10, 15, 20. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah. All right.
Lee.
All right, I heard Pepple say this, so I'm gonna disengage. 10. Can I grab this guy by the foot and try to drag him?
Yes, you can.
15. There we go. I think I can get to about there.
Only like 20 feet.
Oh, was that all it was?
Yeah, you were
Oh,
here.
okay, so I go another 5 then.
You go another 10.
It says speed is 25. Do I have it wrong?
No, you're right. I was forgetting that Aarakocra have a slower walking speed.
Okay, so
So Pyelius, I forgot. He's in low light at this moment. So he's relying on dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
Pebble's turn.
uh, Pebble is going to attack the darkness. Uh, and unarmed strike.
So you miss with the trident. You hit with the unarmed strike. Um, and for you, it doesn't feel like you hit anything at all. Like your fist passes completely through this as it just begins to break apart and vanish, uh, almost like ash disappearing into the wind, except the individual shadow particles seem to just vanish into thin air. And the shadow is no more, unable to escape through the mirror this time.
I, I hope. Is that it? There's no body. Was that a ghost?
Why Pebble is just realizing it now, even though he has passed through the shadow and seen things past the shadow. It's not worth understanding.
See, now I'm picturing like I can imagine a scene from like a fantasy version of Dumb and Dumber where they're like, "Did I just punch a ghost to death?"
That's my turn.
Okay. Glass Golem will move here and attack. Missing. That's its turn. Shadow's gone. Ruben's still unconscious. Pyelius.
Disengage. Shoot. Oh.
Anything else? Are
I
you
guess not.
hiding?
I had to disengage.
That's right.
Keeps catching up to me.
Lee, you just
All right.
exiting?
Um, so I can see the exit.
It's right where you are. This here is the exit.
Right. So I try to like drag that guy, the halfling, outside of the the House of Illusion or whatever.
Right.
Like right on the edge, because I'm trying to keep the torch in there so there's some light, because I don't know how bright it is in there.
Pretty dark in there without you'd be
Yeah.
blinded without the light.
Yeah. So I'm trying to keep that light in there, and I'm gonna squat down and look at the guy and see if he's like what state he's in, if he's like dead or
Let's see. As you've been dragging him a little bit. Oops. Uh, he's unconscious as near as you could tell, but not doing too good.
okay. So I don't have any bandages. Uh, yeah, I really can't do any kind of medical treatment to him. So I'll stand right near the exit there with the light, waiting for everybody to show up.
Okay. Pebble.
Um, Pebble will move up. Uh, from here, does the creature have cover from me?
Yeah, partial cover.
Uh, what about here?
There you have a clean shot.
Okay. And then I will throw a dagger.
That hits.
And then I will use my last potion of healing. Because that's bonus action, right?
Yeah.
And then I will move 5, 10. Well, I want to be here, but I can't move anywhere else. So I guess I'll stay here. Well, am I small enough to stand in Peleus's space?
Uh no, that's not really a rule.
I'll go on my belly between his legs.
I'm. How big are you? How tall are you?
4 feet ish.
I'm 5 foot. There's only a foot difference. Hyalius is very small.
I mean, I would say you're small enough that if you wanted to squeeze like into that spot between him and the mirror, that would be fine.
Okay, I'd like that.
This thing's gonna move 5, 10.
Let's
You can make it.
let's face facts here. It's suddenly Pyelius who's squeezing.
So it is going to attack by Elias, but miss.
Sweet.
So commoner, aka Ruben, he's going to make another death save. And it's Pyelius' turn.
Disengage. Back up. Fire at it again.
That's a hit.
7 reduced damage.
Right. Having fought one of these things before, I would say like you saw how damaged it was right as it was broken up and shattered and destroyed. This one's not that close to that. It was largely Pebbles punching it that did massive amounts of damage to it
Yeah.
the first time.
I was like, Pebbles, just punch it once.
It hurt last time.
Right.
Too
Pebble
bad.
looks really damaged though.
Oh, currently does?
I
It's
mean,
like 2d6 plus like 5
two
damage or something.
plus two.
Yeah, that's one time is all it would take to down Pebble with a good roll. Not doing that. I've already lost one character. Damn it, I'm not losing another.
Hey, hey. I don't want to hear it.
I don't care.
This you've it's lasted way longer, your characters, than my first two.
You know what? Just get good. That's all it is.
6 whole sessions. 2 characters in 6 sessions. You bastard.
Hey, this is session 7. It's close to that. Pebble's not out of this fight yet.
Doesn't have the decency to match me. So your ass better stay alive, god damn it.
Man, you guys are never gonna level. Anything else Pyelius is doing?
Nope, I moved around the corner.
Lee.
I'm going to use a bonus action to disengage and
Well, it's
move.
Lee might do something.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Pebble. Never mind.
Is there any way I can help this guy with his death saves? I
You
don't think you
could,
can really do the help action, can you?
right. It doesn't work quite like that. I mean, you can
Yeah.
make an untrained medicine check to try to stabilize him, but the DC's relatively high since you don't have a healer's kit.
Well, the question is, if I roll really bad, does it make it worse?
No.
Okay. I will try. Untrained. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
It's not a bad house rule that maybe you should be able to kill them with a bad roll, but there's no mechanic for it.
Yeah, I'll
So
just hang there waiting for everybody.
now Pebble.
Oh, sorry. Um, so I'm gonna use disengage. I can't seem to move out of this wall.
I'll just move you there.
Okay. And then I'm gonna throw another knife.
The hit.
Actually, I'm gonna move there. That's my turn.
I'm just gonna get rid of this guy. Not doing anything. He's not really even there anymore. So this time the glass golem is going to move up to Pebble.
Miss.
That's its turn. Ruben, make another death save. Ruben is 2 and 2. The next one. Should be definitive. Pyelius.
All right, now I don't have to spend my bonus action to disengage. I can use it to hide. Um, hopefully. Hey, that's pretty good. I sort of step out into the darkest shadows that I can locate and fire.
That hits. Thanks to
With
the
a
stealth.
disadvantage. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like 4. All right, damage. Yeah, right. At least a good roll went to the piercing damage.
So for the first time, you do notice actually noticeable cracks begin to form in this creature. It's nowhere near completely shattered, but a solid crack is there.
Move here. We're still dealing with this thing. And that's it.
Meanwhile, Lee is trying to perform CPR, like beak to mouth resuscitation.
Get the clown to do it.
Hey, God, maybe we could just like get out. Like, maybe there's a halfling outside, and we just like run. Because this thing is like really scary and really sharp and like not fun.
We still have to get Elgin.
Then we'll come back.
As you're all standing there, by the way, you notice Umbop comes running out of the shadows and runs past and disappears.
I was gonna
How'd
say.
you get
Also,
there?
I was about to say. Also, Mbop is still back there.
Yes, Umbop is still back there. Or at least she was, because she also just ran past the entrance.
And Mbop is inside somehow. Okay.
So Lee's turn.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I got the light here, just waiting for everybody to get the hell out of there.
I mean, you can attempt another medicine check.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it. Not really invested in this halfling, to be honest with you.
Pebble.
Uh, I am going to. I'm just gonna disengage and go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. There. That's my turn.
Okay.
You know, actually, before I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna hit him on the way out first. So, or I wanted to. All right. That's my turn.
Okay. Uh, so it is going to advance. So did Pyelius hide? I don't remember.
He hid, but then he hit the dude.
Oh, he hid and then he attacked. So it can. There's no real question about whether it can see him. So it's going to attack Pyelius, but miss. There's a big round for Ruben.
Uh-oh.
Sadly, Ruben passes away. And you notice the first drops of rain, and suddenly the rain picks up, and you hear the wind howling as lightning fires overhead. Several of the patrons watch as Ruben expires, and a small crowd is gathering around the stairs, gawking at the sight of this dying halfling.
He died of a
And
broken heart.
right, and this Aarakocra who's trying to treat him but not doing a very good job. There may not be, you know, you may not be able to sue somebody for assault, but malpractice, they'll find a way. This is Eberron. Pyelius, it's your turn.
Um, disengage. Back up. I'm still gonna fire.
That hits.
Sweet. Listen, I'm chipping away at it, literally.
Yep.
All right. I have moved outside, I guess.
Lee.
Uh, Step outside there, grab Ruben. If I'm assuming I can pick him up
Yeah.
and move away from the entrance.
Okay. The golem retreats back into the depths of the maze.
Well then.
Hey, we're safe. We're safe. Hey, hey, come on, get up. Get up.
And he nudges the halfling.
Uh, wait,
And he looks at Lily.
is, is he dead?
Yes.
Really? He's, he's dead?
Yes.
Oh, he was he's just alive. Now he's, why is he dead? He was gonna get married, and and he was gonna have a family.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
The female halfling he proposed to comes running up, sees his body and screams and drops down and starts shaking him. But he is dead. So she breaks down and starts weeping.
Pebble takes a few steps back and he also begins to cry.
And there's like people gathered around.
Yes.
I'm just like, look around. What do you all want? Go get somebody to help clean up.
Lost and found is what I heard.
And go, what was the name of the guy who guards the fucking staff area again?
Burley.
Burley.
I'm like, and go get Burley.
One of the hands knows who that is. And so they agree that they can go see if Burley can leave his post guarding the caravan. And a
Um,
lot of the crowd does start to filter away. The clown who stands outside this ride, who was at the other entrance, by the way, comes over, and he also starts weeping, seeing that the halfling has died.
Pebble walks up to Peleus's leg and buries his face in his leg as he is crying.
I mean, you really have to. He's 5 feet tall to your 4 feet, so you have to kind of
Uh,
stoop over to cry into
he
his leg.
he's like he fell to his knees
I see.
by Peleus and just crying.
You're you're cold. You're chilly.
Yeah, you do
Aeolus is
feel
like
the
shaking
frost
the
of his
leg.
chest.
Yeah, I know. It's like that's a tad uncomfortable. I, is this
And
helping?
everybody make me a perception check.
Like, is this helping you somehow?
I think unless it's auditory, I don't think Pebble would.
Am I still poisoned? I guess.
Yes.
No, okay.
I mean, Pebble should still make the check. You could do it at disadvantage.
Okay.
So, Pyelius, you briefly see Mbop in the crowd, but as the crowd begins to disperse, you lose sight of her for just a moment, and then she seems to be gone.
Um, this seems to track with when Mbop. Maybe somebody is pretending to be Mbop. I just like look back. We should make sure that Mbop is out. I'm just like, come on, it's a pebble. Buckle up. We still have a job to do.
Dad, you're trying to save me.
Better snap to him or we'll die. Let's do this. Come on. We're
Pebble will be strong so others don't die. Pebble will be strong so others won't get hurt.
Pebble doesn't seem to be following. But you guys watch as Pyelius goes back into the maze.
I'll uh I'll throw out some dancing lights to make sure there's no surprises.
Okay.
I'll sort
So,
of float them along up in front of me because I only need dim light to be able to see well. So
I mean, dancing lights isn't necessarily dim light. It's just like four torches. The only problem with dancing lights is really that you can separately control the torches, but you have to maintain concentration.
so it says each one, even its dim light to 10 feet.
Okay, I was misremembering then. So, but you can stretch them out
Yeah,
so that it's like 40 feet worth of light ahead of you.
yeah, exactly. That's my goal. At least this section that we just ran through
Right.
in that last fight.
So you don't see anything dangerous in the section that you're in. And as you round the corner and get back up to where Umbop was left, you don't see any sign of her. but you can make me a perception check since you do have some light.
Still have disadvantage because of the poison.
Well, Pebble has apparently followed you in. So neither of you notice anything. All you know is last time you saw her, she was here.
Yeah.
So ideally, what would happen is, and I don't know that this will be possible, but ideally, next session, I would get Elzin and Mbop to do their own little mini session where they wake up on the wrong side of the mirror. Although when I started this, I did not anticipate anybody being taken captive. And it turns out two of the party members were. But that's where we'll wrap it up. Mbop is now gone along with Elzin. Paelius is poisoned. Everybody's a little beaten up.
Indeed.
Sounds good.